Robbie here from ArsenalFanTV. Just on my way to do an interview. I'm going to be on BBC today. I've already done something today on TalkSport, done something today on ITV, and what everybody wants to talk about is last night at Arsenal. It was absolutely crazy there last night. The place got taken over by Koln fans. I never seen nothing like it. I remember I arrived down to the ground and there must have been, I mean, I don't know the numbers. The estimates were that there were 20,000 Koln fans in London, and they took over the place. I got down to the ground, got out of my car, everybody around me was speaking in a German accent. I was like, what's going on? Got to the ground, got around the ground, it's absolutely chaotic. Loads of Koln fans trying to get into the ground in every end, and the kickoff was delayed for an hour. It was chaos down there. Spoke to some of the stewards who said to me that fans were trying to rush the turnstiles. Some of them got in through the disabled turnstiles, they said, because that was sort of the more vulnerable area to get through. And it was just absolutely chaotic there. You know what, I've got to say right now, well done to the authorities, the police and the stewards. I know that they've been getting criticised for no searching and that, but if you'd have been there, there's no way they could have done any searching. There was just too many fans that just hit them all at one time. And I've been abroad and watched a lot of football, and I'll tell you what, it could have been a lot worse than what it was last night. I think if that game would have happened in certain countries, there'd have been tear gas from the police, batons, water cannon. But the police, they delayed the kickoff for an hour. They kept their fans in a certain part. And that 1 hour delay, I think, managed to diffuse the situation a lot. Now, how is it, though, that so many Koln fans managed to get into the Arsenal end? I mean, the clock end, I think 3/4 of it were Koln fans. I sit in the North Bank, there was Koln fans in there was Koln fans in the West Stand, the East Stand. Somebody told me they even saw Koln fans in executive boxes. There were Koln fans in the club things. Now, speaking to some Koln fans, right, before the game, I noticed that they had like Arsenal tops on. So I said to my guy, I thought he was an Arsenal fan. And the guy goes, no, Koln. But what it looked like they did, they purchased tickets, they purchased Arsenal tops, they went into the areas when they were challenged about, you know, who they supported, they had their Arsenal shirts on, so they got let in. They were smart, they coordinated it. Those Koln fans also said to me that, listen, they said, we haven't been in Europe for over 25 years. It's London, it's Arsenal, we had to be here. And there were so many of them. Now, questions going to be asked of Arsenal. Did they not know that so many Koln fans were going to try and make it to the game? And what were the measures to deal with it? It seemed like there were none. It seemed like they just caught everybody by surprise. I mean, I was just going along to the game thinking, you know, I knew there'd be a lot of German fans because German fans always travel well. They always get behind their team, but I was shocked by how many of them there were. And it could have been a whole lot worse down there yesterday. Let's have it right. I mean, what happened was the Koln fans got in. They were all over the stadium in areas where Arsenal fans were. I think the Arsenal fans kind of looked at it, first of all, in shock that so many of them were in different areas. And also they kind of, Arsenal fans around me were kind of like, you know what, fair play to them. You know, it's their big day out. They're in here. So there was no real animosity between the two sets of fans. Now, imagine if there had been. Wow, that could have got really serious down there yesterday. You know, imagine if Koln were winning 2-0, say, and they were started antagonising Arsenal fans, because they weren't really. They were very respectful of the fact they were in the Arsenal end. But imagine if it had been the other way and they were very, you know, they were antagonising Arsenal fans. We could have been talking about a whole different situation today. And I don't know what's going to happen, whether UEFA are going to have problems with Arsenal, with the way they policed it, or the way they, you know, the security and that. But definitely looks like Arsenal were caught out by the whole situation. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you was down there on the night. It was ridiculous, it was crazy. welcome to the Europa League. One of the things actually in the Champions League, if you've been an Arsenal fan and you've been travelling to away games, you would have noticed in the Champions League is that a lot of times when you get to the grounds, they have like an outer ring where before you can even go through that, they want to see your passport, and that's got to match up. Your name on your passport has got to match up with the name on the ticket. Maybe they might have to start bringing things like that in, but then so many of those away fans had tickets in the home end. So how did they manage to do that? How did they manage to breach, you know, that sort of system? And also questions got to be asked about, you know, a lot of Arsenal fans who would have sold their tickets on. Who did you give them to? The ticket touts who, you know, they're always outside the ground. Every Arsenal fan sees them when you come out the station. They're buying tickets off of people, then selling them back to other people. They got a responsibility. There's going to be a lot of questions asked about this one, but I think we were very fortunate yesterday that we're not talking today about very, very serious incidents. If those Cologne fans hadn't been a bit more better natured, it could have been worse. Yes, there was a lot of them that were drunk, but on the whole, I didn't see a lot of straight up violence. But anyway, listen, let me go and get on this train. Got to head over to BBC, tell them all about it. Let me know what your experiences were. Leave it in the comments below. But I think, listen, the main thing was, well, we got the win last night and nobody got hurt. There were a lot of families there that, you know, went home when they was in there and they saw what was going on. So really felt sorry for some of those youngsters